Hello.
How are you doing?
Very good, very good.
Great. Well, it's good to be with you again. As a reminder, I'm Michelle Barber. I'm the partner of your audit engagement. We're very excited to be working with you. It's been a smooth audit process so far. We've enjoyed getting to know your business, and we're very excited about your growth. So I'd like to emphasize that we are here to be a resource for you. We're here to provide you with a professional opinion to make sure that your financial statements are presented in the best way possible. So through our audit process so far, we've come up with a few issues that we'd like to discuss, and of course, there's some questions that you had asked us that we'll also touch on. The first one that I'd like to talk about is the audit committee, which you had asked about. So of course, Sarbanes-Oxley requires that every public company must have an audit committee. There must be between 3 and 6 members. So you have 3 right now, so that's good.
Don't go there, Susan.
Check that one off.
Yeah.
All right.
Each member of the audit committee must be independent of the company. This is both in terms of compensation and in terms of affiliation. So as the CEO, of course, you can see that you're not independent.
So what does that mean?
That means it's very important to be independent because, of course, your job is to audit the financial statements and say that they are in fact reliable. So you have to have an unbiased perspective. Of course, for investors, if they see that you have a stake in the company, they're not going to think that you have an unbiased perspective, and they won't be as likely to trust the financial statements.
So does that mean I need to come off immediately, or is there an interim solution, or a short-term temporary solution, or you're basically saying I need to excuse myself immediately?
Then we'd be
So-
2 members.
I know. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before the financial statements are released. Kim also is not independent because since she works for a company that gets a substantial amount of revenue from Fox Corporation, she of course has a stake in making sure that the financial statements look as good as possible so that her company does well. So one of the main requirements is that in the audit committee, one member has to be a financial expert, which means has to be, yes. Which means they're well versed in GAAP, they have experience preparing financial statements. So one of your members must have that.
So there's issues with 2 of our, they basically our 2 other members. Can I stay on the audit committee? I mean, is it okay if I hang around?
Well, another requirement is that each member of the audit committee must have accounting competence.
I run my own business.
Okay. I mean, it's of course, it's up to you to decide what your level of comfort is. We have some recommendations on who we looked at, and based on our professional opinion, matches up with the requirements of Sarbanes-Oxley. That's Dale Martin, George Altizer, and Carla Thomas. And excuse me, I apologize, I forgot to give you both agendas. Here they are. So we follow. And I've also prepared an exhibit with the overall rules for the audit committee, which you can peruse when you're making your final decision on who to put on your audit committee.
And just to expand on her point, on the list, that's just merely examples of who would qualify. Obviously, for our own independence, we don't want to tell you who to pick.
I was going to say.
So I don't think that list is who we want on the audit committee or anything like that. It's just strictly, these are people who fit the description of who should be on it. As far as timing, we would, in our professional judgment, recommend that you try to do this as quick as possible, and particularly before the statements are released, just mostly for investor confidence and things like that.
All right, we'll take it under advisement, I guess.
Sounds like we got to make some decisions pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, good evening, Caesar. It's nice to be here today. Again, my name is Chip Wilmer. I'm Senior Associate with Grant Thornton. I've really enjoyed working on the audit so far, and for your team's been nothing short of fantastic, and getting us everything we need. And I wanted to bring to a small issue that I wanted to bring to your attention. I was working with your assistant CFO. I was auditing the allowance for doubtful accounts, and your team's methodology is great. There's no issues there, but in testing it, ran into a computational error that understated that allowance by $34,500. Brought it to the again, the amount's really not a big deal. It's a very small amount. We're suggesting adjusting journal entry. Your assistant CFO agrees. The issue that came about was the assistant CFO brought to my attention that no one checked in the accounting department. No one checked the accuracy of that estimate before it hit the hit the trial balance, and we see that as a controlled deficiency. And so what that means is that we're not going to be able to rely on the controls quite as much as we intended to.
Well, yeah, so let's take a step back. So $34,000, I mean, I think on this side of the table, we would all say that's pretty immaterial to
Absolutely.
$500 million in revenues.
Yeah.
So one deficiency that results in an immaterial error, how does that lead to you?
Can't rely on
Yeah,
controls.
can't rely on the controls, or what exactly does that mean?
That
Yeah,
sounds
well-
very scary, something.
Well, let me back up just a shade. The intent that the level we're going to rely on the controls. We're not going to rely as much as we intended to. Now, we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater in the same instance. But we will have to do some more substantive testing. And the other reason I just wanted to bring it to your attention was I know there's been a lot of changes at Fox Corporation lately, and we at Grant Thornton, we hope we're not only just merely your auditor, your financial statements, but can be a trusted business advisor. And so, we see
Does
it
that impact independence?
not as
Yeah. You just told me about all the problems with our audit committee, so last thing we wanna do is get in more trouble, huh?
No, within the scope of our audit.
Okay.
We're not, going out and doing advisory work, but, there's something in the scope of our audit we feel like that can help your business. We want to bring that to your attention. I think this is, having independent checks is certainly something good to have.
Fair enough.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for having both here. My name is Owen Zhou, and I'm an audit senior associate in this engagement team. And in order for Grant Thornton to provide a better audit service for you, and I have to discuss with you about another important issue that's not technical, and it's easier to solve, I think. The thing is that I have recently discussed with the HR director, Mr. Miller, to discuss with the background investigations for the new hires, and we noticed that the Fox Corporation has not finished the background check for Mr. Tanner, who serves as the CFO in Ms. Lopez, who serves as the COO in Fox Corporation. And we really understand that under your policy, the deadline is much later this year, but we highly recommend you to solve this background investigation as early as possible, because there are two reasons behind this. First of all, these two positions are two key positions in Fox Corporation. Their decisions will influence the Fox and its financial data to a large extent, and which means we have to improve the validity of the financial data. It's better for Fox Corporation to conduct the background investigation as early as possible. And secondly, although the SEC doesn't require all the company to disclose all the background information for the new hires, it does require the company to disclose the chief officer's background in the past 5 years in the financial report. So to make sure that our financial report is disclosed correctly, it's necessary for Fox Corporation to conduct the check.
So what did our HR director say about that?
He said that you've done the early stage of the background investigation, but it's not finalized. I mean, it's better to finalize it before issuing the financial report and to improve the validity of the financial report. And that's very important. And now I'm just giving some recommendation about this, and maybe we can discuss it later.
I know, definitely follow up here.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I'm Alex Lamb. I'd also like to reiterate how well the audit's gone so far and how helpful your staff has been. Another issue that we have discovered is there's a claim against Fox Corp from a customer, and we've had communication with legal counsel, and they said this lawsuit, it's probable that Fox Corporation will lose the lawsuit, and the claims are reasonably estimated around $500,000. According to our reporting standards, if a contingent liability in this case is both probable and can be reasonably estimated, that claim should go ahead and be recorded in the current period instead of holding off and waiting to see what actually happens. This will, make sure your net income is reported properly and you're not underestimating your liabilities. If down the road one of your investors, if Fox Corp was to lose this case and then your investors discovered you had knowledge beforehand, it could shake their confidence and possibly even result in liability for you or the company. So we strongly recommend that you go ahead and report that liability in the current period.
$500,000.
Was there any specific reason you disagreed with legal counsel?
Well, I mean, I feel pretty, so this specific issue has to do with, some of the dog food, and someone complaining that, okay. Yeah, I feel pretty strongly that this will be withheld, in court, just based on my discussions with our in-house counsel and, you know, just.
Well, I can certainly understand you wouldn't want to root against your own company in lawsuits. However, just going on the advice, the professional advice of legal counsel, we're going to recommend that you go ahead and book it. However, you know, we'd be more than open to having a conversation with counsel and, you know, discussing their reasoning and your reasoning and, you know, hopefully coming to a decision we can all agree on.
One other thing we wanted to touch on, your recent acquisition. Congratulations on that. We know it's an exciting time for you. Which is also going to increase our scope, as well as our fees.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to go out and visit Bow Wow.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time.
We've discussed this a little bit with Mr. Tanner. He just wanted to make sure you were up to speed. Our fees will be increasing in the range of $200,000 to $250,000. The reason for that is it about doubles your assets currently, including 4 warehouses which need to be tested for inventory, along with all their assets. So that's reflected in, we actually have an exhibit which will show you the increased hours. And you'll see a good bit in the staff level hours increasing, and that's going to be due to a lot of the inventory testing that's going to be needed.
So walk me through what I'm looking at, so
Sure.
I don't get too lost in the details.
So the top 2 charts are going to be your year-end and your quarterly